Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another day in our 30-day challenge. So we're just going to get nice and grounded on our mat. Just begin to arrive either in our hero's position, sitting up nice and straight on our knees, or just coming down onto the mat, grounding through the seat bones, and just beginning to become aware of our breath. We're naturally breathing through our mouth or our nose. Is the breath just going into the chest, or is it going all the way into the belly? Just paying attention to it here, not changing it or forcing it yet. Maybe giving your body a scan from top of the head to the bottom, noticing if there's any tension, any soreness, any muscle fatigue. Really connecting with your own breath here. Starting to deepen the inhales. And smooth, controlled exhales. Maybe even placing the hands on the belly, or one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Just connect your mind and body even more. Deep inhale all the way into the diaphragm, filling it up like a balloon. And feeling the chest rise. Maybe sipping in a little bit more air through the nose. And gently exhaling it all out. Allowing the chest to fall. And then the belly. Breathing into the belly. Feeling the chest expand. Pausing here. And sipping in one more little breath. One more. One more. And gently exhale out. Maybe extending those exhales a little bit longer than the inhale. One more time, inhaling into the belly. Then the chest. Getting to full capacity. Pausing and sipping in one more breath. One more. And last one. And gently exhale out. And just returning to your own breath for a couple of rounds. Nice smooth inhales, filling all the way up. Gently exhaling out. When you're ready, we'll bring our hands to heart center. And we'll begin the practice by chanting Om. So taking a deep inhale. Om. Gently bowing our chin to chest. We give thanks and pay our respects to the Indigenous landowners, past, emerging, and present. We give thanks to the sages, the rishis, and the yogis who came before us, who shared this knowledge of yoga. We give thanks to our higher God, our divine, our innermost self, our higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, for turning up on the mat today and bringing you safely here. Releasing the hands back down to the thighs. We're going to move into our Bhastrika breath. So that was our heating practice, where we're inhaling forcefully and exhaling forcefully. So we're going to incorporate our arms into it just so we can get really connected with the breath. So bringing the arms out to cactus, Nice and strong through the shoulders, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. We inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So we're going to do that for 10 rounds, doing it at your own pace. Do it as fast or as soft as you like. When you're ready. And then returning to your breath. Feeling that prana invigorating you, warming you up from the inside out. Do one more round of 10, remembering that one round is up and down. Setting up, hands to the side. When you're ready. And returning to your normal seat. Breathing deep into the belly and exhaling out. You'll definitely be feeling a little bit warmer and a little bit ready to move into our practice. We're coming into our tabletop, planting the feet, planting the knees, and really grounding down through our fingers. We'll move through our cat-cow. So inhaling, arching the back, looking up to the sky for our cow. And exhaling, pushing away for our cat. Inhaling and exhaling. Really connecting with your breath. Dropping that chest, then opening up the chest when you're looking up. And exhaling, really rounding, pushing away, arching that back as much as you can like an angry cat. Follow this here for a few rounds of your own breath. Maybe really stretching the back of the neck out as well, bringing that chin to chest as you round for your cat. And the cow, allowing everything to drop down. Then coming back to neutral. We're going to find our hip circles now. So exhaling all the way down and around. Then inhaling up. So taking the circles as big as you can. Warming up the hip joints. Inhaling up and around. And exhaling, sending it all the way over to the side and back. Now the other side. Sending it around. Making it as exaggerated as you like. Maybe bringing the shoulder to hip. And coming to a nice pause here. You're going to inhale, sweep that left hand around and back. And exhale, bringing it forward. So we're opening up the shoulders this time, but instead of threading the needle, we're doing this big swimming-like movements. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Trying to get that whole shoulder rotation in there. Coming to a pause and sending it the other way. Inhaling up and around and exhaling down. Really focusing on moving that hand through the other, making the circles as big as possible, and coming down to the mat and opening up the other side. So inhaling up and around Bending that arm forward as you exhale. Again, maybe noticing if one side is tighter than the other, or if you're able to even turn to the side a little bit easier. Pausing at the top here and exhaling down, reversing the other way. Kind of like you're doing backstroke. And then planting the hand down. Sending the knees wide of the mat and exhaling down, finding our child's pose. And just connecting the forehead to the mat. Breathe here. Now this is an active child's pose, so you're really stretching those arms out in front of you, grounding the fingers down through the mat, keeping activated here. Opening up those armpits, opening up that chest as you send the chest down to the floor. And then inhaling, coming back up. We're going to step that right foot in between the hands and finding our runner's lunge here. Just getting nice and eased into that hip flexor. Inhaling here, sending the head up to the sky. Then we're going to exhale, sending it back for our half Hanuman. Sending those right toes to the sky. Inhaling forward for our runners. And exhaling for our half Hanuman. And just getting into the breath here. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Next time that you're in your half Hanuman, keeping the right toes pointed to the sky, really pulling that right hip back. Opening up that glute. Maybe lengthening that spine. And exhaling, dropping that head down to the shin again. Taking a few breaths here. Squaring those hips as much as you can. And then inhale gently forward into that runner's lunge. We're going to step that back foot back and send it back into our child's one more time. A nice gentle start to the morning this morning. Nice deep breaths here. And exhale to release. Coming back up into our tabletop and stepping the left foot in between the hands and setting up for that runner's lunge again. Lengthening the spine. Inhaling here. And then exhale, sending it back for our half Hanuman. So straightening that left leg, sending the left toes to the sky. Finding a nice stretch here for that first one. And then we inhale forward. Finding our runners. Exhale back to our half Hanuman. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. I'm just sitting in this half Hanuman here. Left hip back in line with the right. Trying to straighten that left leg as much as you can. Really feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. Then inhaling, coming back through, finding our runners. Exhaling, sending that knee back wide of the mat. And coming down for our child's. Taking some nice restorative breaths here before we move through our flow. Coming back up to tabletop when you're ready. Starting to warm up now already. From our tabletop, tucking the toes and finding our hovering tabletop. So turning the belly on, navel to spine, making sure that shoulders are over wrists. Nice deep breaths here. And exhaling back to a downward facing dog. Really sending that chest to the thighs. Maybe walking the dog, dropping one heel, then the other. Releasing the calves, the hamstrings. Warming everything up. Exhaling, sending those ankles down to the mat as much as you can. Then tippy-toeing the feet, one by one, to the top of the mat. And hanging here for our ragdoll. Hands find opposite elbows, nodding the head yes, shaking it no. Maybe bouncing up and down, releasing the low back a little bit more. Side to side. And then just finding stillness. Dropping the head. Dropping the shoulders. Releasing the neck. Gently releasing the hands and rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. All the way up. Until shoulders are over hips. Finding our Tadasana. So slight tuck of the tailbone. Standing nice and tall. You're going to really ground down the feet, spreading the toes, touching the big toes together. We're going to drop the hips back, sending it up, finding our chair pose. So again, tucking that tailbone slightly under, pulling the shins back so you can see your toes. Nice deep breaths here. Turning the legs on. We're going to inhale here and exhale, finding our half chair. Inhale, exhale to half chair. One more time, inhale and exhale. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, bringing the hands to heart center. Nice inhale here. Then exhale, turning to the left. Bringing that right elbow outside the left knee. Really pressing the hands into each other. Breathing here, opening up the chest even more. Finding this twist. Feeling the legs burn. Then planting into that left foot. Gently coming onto the toes of your right. And exhaling it back. Finding our twist here, finding our balance. Still pressing into those palms. Looking over that left elbow. Maybe bending into that left knee a little bit more. And then exhaling, dropping the hands, framing the foot, and stepping it back for our downward facing dog. Gently walking the feet and finding our stillness. And moving through our vinyasa. So flowing through to our plank. Either dropping to the knees or staying here. Exhaling to chaturanga, elbows hugging into the ribs. Inhaling forward, upward facing dog. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Gently bending the knees, we inhale, looking in between the hands, and exhale, stepping to our forward fold. Maybe bringing the hands behind the calves, really stretching out those glutes, the hamstrings, pulling the front body into the legs even more. And then we inhale, circle sweep the arms to the sky, and exhale, back to our Tadasana. Setting up again nice and tall, really planting those feet into the ground. Nice big inhale here. And exhale to release. We're going to inhale, finding our chair again. Sending the hands all the way to the sky, opening up that chest, hugging that tailbone. Looking down at our feet, maybe pulling our shins back even more, sinking into those hips a little bit lower. Imagining that you're sitting down in your favorite chair. Building the strength in this position. Inhale and exhale to half chair. Inhaling up. Exhaling out. Inhaling up. And exhaling out. Coming to heart center with your hands. Inhaling here. And then exhaling, turning to the right. Tucking that left elbow outside the right knee. Breathing into this twist. Really pressing into your hands, opening up that chest a little bit more. And you're going to start putting the weight into the right foot. Lifting onto the left toes. And exhaling, stepping it back. Finding our twisted lunge. Still pressing those palms together, opening up. See if you can find a bit more twist. Feeling the heat build in those legs. Inhaling here. And then exhale to release. Stepping it back for our child's pose or downward dog. Inhaling through to plank, finding our vinyasa flow. Exhaling down. Inhaling upward facing dog. And exhaling, stepping it back for our downward facing dog. Taking some nice deep restorative breaths here. Child's pose is always available to you if you need. Bending the knees, we look between the hands and we step or hop to the front of the mat. Hanging in our forward fold. We inhale, circle sweep the hands all the way to the sky. And exhale through for our Tadasana. Again, taking a nice cleansing breath just to recuperate, or at least so I can get my breath. Inhaling in and exhaling side out. Really getting that breath into the belly. Bringing the hands to heart center. We're going to step that left foot back, finding our crescent lunge. So on the ball of our back foot, bending into our right knee, maybe finding higher prayer as we open up that hip. We're taking an inhale here. We're going to exhale, open for our Superman. So all of that weight's coming into that right foot. Sticking the bum out a bit, hands by ears, tilting at the hips, finding this Superman. Feeling the heat build in that right leg. Nice deep breath here. Let it build even more. So this is part of our hatha practice, holding the poses. And then exhaling the hands down, dropping that back knee. We're going to open up for our easy twist. The right hand goes to the sky, dropping into that hip flexor a little bit more. Breathing here. When you're ready, bending that leg and reaching back to grab it with that right hand. Feeling this corkscrew twist opening up. Maybe kicking into that hand, opening that chest a little bit more. One more inhale here. And exhale, releasing that foot. Coming back round. And stepping back into our downward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. We inhale through to our plank. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. You're going to step or hop to the front of your mat. So bending the knees, looking between the hands, inhaling. And exhaling forward. Finding a halfway lift. Sending that spine nice and straight. And exhaling, folding over. We're going to circle sweep the hands all the way to the sky. And exhaling back down. This time we're going to put our weight into the left leg. Come this side so you can see what we're up to again. We're going to gently inhale that right leg up, stepping it back, and finding our crescent lunge. Inhaling the hands all the way up, really bending into that left leg. Getting nice and strong here. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, folding forward for our Superman. All of that weight going into the glute, feeling nice and strong. Navel to spine, turning everything on. Trying to pull those shoulders away from the ears. Maybe sticking that butt out a little bit more, tilting a bit more forward. Feeling that strength build in the legs. And then exhaling down. Finding that low lunge. Planting the right hand and then inhaling that left hand up for our twist. Allowing the hips to relax and sink into the floor. When you're ready, setting that left knee out a bit more, maybe heel toeing the foot to the side. Leaning into that hip flexor or onto your right thigh. Reach around with your left hand to grab your right foot as it bends. And just really enjoying this twist here. Nice deep breaths. Allowing everything to melt into the mat. One more inhale here. And exhale, releasing that foot down. Coming back around to the front. And exhaling it back. Downward facing dog. Inhaling through to our plank. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Stepping or hopping to the top of your mat. Inhaling here. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, lengthen that spine. And exhaling back down. Circle sweeping the arms all the way to the sky. And exhaling through heart center. Beautiful. From here, you're going to step that right foot back, finding that high lunge again. Inhaling up and exhaling back for our Superman. And this time, you're going to kick that back leg up and open up for our Warrior 3. Kicking that glute up, taking that right leg even higher. Turning on the whole back body. Finding a balance here, navel to spine. Tilting a little bit more at the hips. And then you're going to exhale down, finding your standing split. Sending that right leg to the sky as much as you can, using that glute to kick it up. Bringing that head down to the left knee. Leg goes even higher, finding the balance here. You're going to exhale, bring that right knee behind the left. And you're going to find a seated twisting position. So you might be a little bit off the mat here. Get nice and comfortable here. Inhale that right arm up. And then exhale, turning to twist. Spine nice and long. That invisible string pulling your head to the sky. Nice big inhale. And exhale to twist over the left-hand side a bit more. Looking over that left shoulder. Pressing elbow into knee. One more inhale here. And then exhale, gently finding your counter twist, turning to the right. And just releasing over to the side. When you're ready, we're going to find our standing split one more time. So pressing the weight into that left foot. Come back up. And send our right leg to the sky. Hovering over the left in our standing. One more inhale here, see if you can kick that leg a little bit higher. And then exhale it down for our forward fold. Maybe bending one leg, then the other. Until you're finding stillness here. Inhale, circle sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale back through center. Beautiful. Inhale, circle sweep the arms. Exhale down through center. This time grounding through the right foot, lifting the left, and sending it back. Finding our high crescent. Hands up. And we exhale through to our Superman. So really feeling that glute turning on. Whole back body is strong. Nice deep breath in here. And then exhale, opening up to our Warrior 3. So the weight goes into that right foot, keeping that back body strong. Left glute lifts a little bit higher. Hinging at the hips a little bit more. And exhaling all the way down to the mat. Left foot high to the sky for our standing split. Bending over that standing leg. Left glute kicks that leg even higher if it can. Bringing that head a little bit closer to the left shin. Toes pointed to the sky. I'm going to exhale, bring that left leg behind the right. Finding our twist on the other side. Inhaling that left hand up. And exhale, turning to twist, hooking that elbow behind the knee. Inhaling, sitting nice and straight. And exhaling to twist, looking over that right shoulder. Nice deep breaths here. Breathing into that glute, that hip flexor. And then exhaling to twist a little bit more. And inhale back round. Finding our counter twist, taking ourselves over to the left. And dropping that head. Releasing everything down. Inhaling back up. And getting ready to find our standing split. Planting the hands. Sending our weight into that right foot. Left leg up to the sky. One more time, getting as high as you can. And exhaling down for our forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhaling to release. Circle, sweeping the arms all the way to the sky. And exhaling, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to inhale that right knee up. Finding our balance here. Exhaling, opening up for our warrior three one more time. Nice and strong here. Then you're going to exhale, step that right foot down, pick up the toes, turn them to the side of the room, finding our star pose. So standing nice and tall, shoulders up, back and down. Inhaling here. And then exhale, keeping a straight back, bend forward. Holding it here, nice and strong in the glutes, in the legs, in the back. Then exhale to release. Peace fingers wrap around the toes. We inhale, halfway lift, really pulling the chest up. And exhale down to the mat. Just enjoying this recovery position. Hips nice and high to the sky. Pulling with the fingers a little bit more. Folding in half. Maybe top of the head comes to the mat. Or maybe you're just up here. Or if you need a pillow or a bolster under your head as well, feel free to do that. Nice deep breath in. And exhale to release. Hands come to the hips. We inhale all the way up with a straight spine, finding our star pose. Exhale, turning the feet into a little bit of a diagonal, toes pointing to the top corners of the mat. We exhale down, finding our goddess. So hips drop back, knees out wide, maybe using our hands to support ourselves on our knees. Taking a deep breath in here. Then exhale, dropping that right shoulder over and down and looking to the left. Inhaling back up. And exhaling over to the right. Inhaling up. Over to the left. Inhaling up. And over to the right. Next, inhale, coming through to center. Bringing the hands up. Seeing if you can hold it here. Maybe the hands come to heart center. Maybe embracing those shakes like I am this morning. And then inhaling up to our star. Turning to the front. And exhaling to our Tadasana. Finding a deep breath here. This time planting into our right foot. Opening up to our warrior slightly. Turning on that back body. And exhaling, dropping that left foot back. Picking up the toes and turning to our star again. Inhaling the hands all the way up. And then exhale, floating down through the center. Hands come to the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. And then exhaling, releasing over. Using the hands to help balance you, maybe playing with the weight in your feet, bringing it into the toes, then into the heels, rocking back and forth. And when you're ready, finding stillness and just releasing here. So pulling the kneecaps up, feeling nice and supported, all four corners of the feet grounding through the mat. Releasing a little bit more. The exhale, opening up the legs, releasing the calves, the thighs, the back of the knees. When you're ready, inhale, planting those hands into the mat, coming up to our halfway lift, lifting the kneecaps again, turning the belly on, navel into spine. Bring the hands to the hips, and inhale, one straight line all the way up, pointing the foot to the right, and exhaling, coming to our Tadasana. Nice deep breath here. This time, we're going to inhale, sitting into our chair, and we're going to go as low as we can to the mat with as much control as possible, coming all the way down until the bottom finds the mat as gently as possible, and then rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae until the head reaches the mat. This time, planting the hands into the ground, we're going to inhale up for our bridge, maybe holding it here or interlacing the hands behind the back, really sending those hips forward, up and high, breathing here into this back bend. Rounding down through the heels, through the toes, and arching a little bit higher. Then exhaling to release all the way down. Knees melt in together. Taking a moment here, letting the spine recalibrate. I'm going to exhale the knees over to the left. And inhale up through center. And exhale over to the right. Coming up through center. Grounding down through the feet again, palms on the mat. We inhale up, finding our bridge. And this time we're going to find supported bridge. So maybe bringing your elbows underneath you, hands to the back. So you're kind of having your hands on the hips. And just feeling this nice supported bridge here. If you like, you can maybe walk the feet out, straightening them, or just keeping them bent. Allowing the whole body to melt into this supported position. Hands come back down to the mat. Hips stay high. And then gently exhale down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once again, releasing the legs, left, and then right. We're going to roll onto our stomachs this time, finding our prone pose here. We're going to set our hands up for our Sphinx. So looking ahead, head nice and tall, and just breathing into this back bend here. One more inhale. And then exhale, release all the way to the mat. Right cheek onto the mat, looking over to the left. Releasing everything out. Melting into the mat. You're going to inhale back into your Sphinx. Nice and tall, strong neck, strong shoulders, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, opening up the collarbones, making them smile. Then you're going to bend your left leg and reach back and grab it with your left hand. So you can have the hand over top with the toes pointing down, or to the side if you like, whichever feels good for your shoulder, and opening that up. And you're just going to pull that leg into you as much as you can, looking straight, feeling that quad stretch, that shoulder stretch. Nice deep breaths here. Nice and supported and grounded through that right arm. If it's too much of a pinch, bring the chest to the mat a little bit more. If you feel any pain in your back, just keep lowering down until there's no pain in your back. Maybe just holding the leg here. Again, you never want to be in pain. You just want to find the edge of the discomfort. Nice deep breath in here. And exhale, release everything to the mat. Left cheek finds the floor. Looking over to the right. Finding our Sphinx pose again. Grounding down through that left arm this time. I'm going to inhale, bend that right leg, grabbing it with the right hand, and pulling that leg down towards the glute, opening up the chest. Nice deep inhales here all the way into the belly. And exhale, pulling that leg in a little bit more. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Gently release to the mat. Breathing all the way into the pelvis, into the back body. And this time, you're going to find both legs. So reaching up and back for our full bow pose now. Grabbing the ankles or the feet, we inhale. Kicking into our hands. Chest comes up. Opening up the chest. Rising a little bit higher, keeping those knees together if you can. Kicking even higher, lifting the chest even higher. And exhale down to release. Landing into the hands. We're pressing back for our child's pose. Lower back releases. We inhale back through to center, and then find our way back onto our mat. So finding easy seat, then rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae. This time, sending the legs in the air for waterfall, allowing the lower back to completely press into the mat. Letting the blood circulate back around from the feet, back up to the heart. Finding a beautiful recovery here. If you like, you can stay in your waterfall pose or head into your shoulder stand and flower pose. Again, keeping the neck and the back flat on the mat. Inhaling up to your shoulders. Elbows come in behind the back and sending the feet all the way to the sky. And when you're ready, dropping the feet down behind the head. Finding our flower pose. Knees may be bent or straight. Releasing the whole back body. Taking deep breaths all the way in. We exhale, releasing tension out of the back of the neck, out of the glutes, out of the legs a little bit more. And when you're ready, bring the legs back up and over. Nice deep bend. And gently lower vertebrae by vertebrae onto the mat. And knees just gently melt in to touch each other. Allowing everything to recalibrate here. And then just taking the knees left and right again, your own pace. And bring the legs up, finding your happy baby. Pulling the feet down, lower back into the mat. Deep breath here. And then exhale, releasing to Savasana. Feet and arms go out wide. Breathing all the way into the belly. And exhaling to melt and release into the mat even more. Noticing the breeze as it goes by. Or maybe noticing that there's no breeze at all. Tapping into all 5 senses. What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you feel? What can you taste? Keeping your eyes closed. What can you see? What images are coming to mind? What stories are you telling yourself? Feeling the breath as it goes all the way into the belly, allowing the chest to rise as the diaphragm is full. Exhaling back down. Bringing some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes. And then gently rolling onto your side, hugging yourself in the fetal position, giving yourself one more bit of love, really hugging the knees into yourself, and then gently pressing up into a seated position. Keeping the eyes closed. We'll finish the practice by chanting Om and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring the hands together. We'll inhale together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands to your third eye. May you think kind thoughts to your lips. May you speak kind words. And to your heart, may you live with kind intentions. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.